Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kristin. Welcome to my channel. I have been on YouTube probably almost 3 years between like watching people and creating a channel and posting randomly, but technology is not my strong point, so I am trying to film a live. I'm not sure how it'll go or if I will even be able to see people's comments, but I thought, worst case, it'll be like doing a different test video and you can leave me your answers and chat in the comments like we normally do, right? I just won't get to see them live. So it is Sunday, November 1st. It was Halloween yesterday. And so I just wanted to hear what was going on. Hey, Michelle, I can see a comment. That's so encouraging. I was like, what if I can't see anybody's comments? And you've done this before, so you know what I'm talking about, that it's kind of like this angsty try to figure it out. So I was just trying to see what had happened for Halloween around purple wall. Okay. Tell me your first name again, Purple Wall. I know I go over to your channel and I can't remember off the top of my head, and I don't like not knowing people's names. Kay. Thank you, Kay. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. What did y'all do for Halloween? Normally, I live in, it's not a poor neighborhood by any stretch of the imagination, but it's an older subdivision, and then there's these really super nice houses that are like right a block over, like, I mean, they're definitely upper class. And so everybody goes there to trick or treat. And so yeah, I handed out candy too, but nobody intentionally comes to our neighborhood, but the kids who live in my neighborhood on their way to the big houses will stop. So I normally get maybe 5 to a dozen times that the doorbell rings, and that's it. So like each one will have 2 to maybe up to 8 kids. But last night I had 4. I was guessing there'd be 5, but there were 4. So I only went to the door 4 times. Did y'all find that it was busier or less busy this year? I don't know. I do want to start to get to know people though. So I am oh, scary movies. Did anybody interrupt the scary movie though? Because that would be like, difficult if I was like watching a movie and then it kept interrupting. I'm like starting to sweat, y'all. I'm like nervous. Maybe I should have worn a tea. I've got my hot tea because I already had 2 coffees today. So I do have a couple get to know you questions. I like to do these little would you rathers with the teenagers. And so I was thinking that might be a fun thing to kind of do on my channel, just to get to know people. So the first random question that kind of lets me know your mind is, if we were to be invaded, like aliens come down and invade, and I think this might even be a little bit off of the book that you were reading. Trick-or-treaters aren't allowed. Oh, well, you don't have to worry about having candy then, do you? if your apartment or subdivision doesn't allow trick-or-treaters, that would take care of it. Oh, okay, so back to the aliens. If the aliens are coming in, would you rather the aliens be robotic, like mechanical type of beings, or would you rather them be organic, like bio forms? And this is a really fascinating question because you have to think about, are they going to be friendly? Are they going to be hostile? If they're hostile, which one do we have a better chance to take down, right? And do you think we will actually ever have to deal with this? Because it would be a little silly to think we're the only living creatures in all of space. I mean, that's just what I'm thinking. Organic, yeah. I mean, I thought about it. I think organic, just in the sense that we would have the best chance of connecting and having things in common with them. Although today we're starting to get where I think people even 100 years ago never thought we would get intelligence wise. And in this generation, they live on the computers, right? That's all they talk about. Yeah, like that's all the teenagers now. They have trouble even talking to people, and yeah, it probably would be easier to kill them if they had biological weaknesses too, because they would need water or air or food or something. So, whereas a robot, maybe they would keep living in parts. There's some creepy movies. See, I don't like scary movies. Which scary movie did you watch, Michelle? Was it one you had already seen? It's like scary movies. I don't know. I remember going to summer parties and watching the old school ones, back in the 80s. And that was enough. I don't need any more of those. All right, so this one's an interesting one that I had to think about too. It says, would you rather lose the ability to speak or lose the ability to be able to read anything? And it's not just like books. It's like you're driving, right? If we can't read directions. Yeah. I had to think about this one a long time. It's like, because, and I don't know if sign language counts as speaking, but it's just all these interesting life values to ponder. I kind of think I would have to figure out a way to. Oh, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are scary though, because you can like actually dream like like have nightmares, and nightmares like haunt you and everything. And Kay, I don't know. That was I I think I think I would have to give up the reading though, because I want to be able to be effective to talk to other people. Like I think, well, if you could write those still. If you couldn't speak but you could write. Yeah, that's a good one. Um, would you rather be, if you couldn't have your own skin, would you rather have fur, like be covered in total fur, or would you rather be covered in total scales? Like mermaidish. Right now, fur sounds like a good option when it gets cold, but I mean, scales are pretty and it'd be like extra protection, right? So, I don't know. I'm not much of a swimmer though. I might have to go with the fur. I keep changing my mind on this one, y'all. Fur or scales? It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I do. Yeah, fur would be good. Oh, scales. Yeah, that's true. It depends on where you live, but you might want to move too if you had one or the other. Do y'all want a tail? This isn't one of the official questions, but don't you think it'd kind of be cool if we actually had a tail? Like, I think that would be really handy. I want to know, like, evolutionary wise, why we don't have a tail. Because don't you always need, like, one extra way to pick up something or shut the door behind you? I just think a tail would be amazing. I mean, it could fold up under you when you're driving or needed to sit or something. I don't know. I think having a tail would be a fantastic thing. Yeah, yes, like a prehensile tail. Yeah, oh my gosh, one of my friends on Facebook said this is my spirit animal, and it had like this dinosaur, but it had the head of Cookie Monster, and it had like a tentacle coming off of it that was Grover. It was like a whole nod to like the Sesame Street Muppet animal creature. And I told her it wasn't perfect unless it also had another arm that came out that was some of those yip 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 little guys, because they just are the best. Yeah, that's true. Like the Eeyore tails, they like flip around flies, or they keep you balanced, or they like are another sensory thing, so we could like tell, what's around us more. Or if we're in the dark, ooh, if we had a nice long tail and we're trying to go through the dark, we could use the tail to swish around and like, you know, we would never bump into walls or anything. That would be really cool. This was an interesting question too, because I had to change my answer on it after I first read it. It says, would you rather spend a year in jail or just lose an end, or like lose a year off the end of your life? Like you don't know what that's going to be or how many years, but let's say you are going to live 100 years, so you would live 99 instead of 100. Or would you rather spend the year in jail? So at first I was just like, oh no, just end early. I don't want to be in jail. But then I thought, well, if it's not part of your record, like if it's not going to make you be listed as a felon so you can't get work or you can't do what you want to do, I think I would pick the jail, because I was thinking like the deeper kind of question is almost like, is a bad year worth living, or is a really hard year worth living? And like, think about all the hard years we've had, y'all. This has been a hard year. It's kind of like, would you rather lose a year of your life, or would you rather live 2020 again? There's a question. It's like, do you want to live 2020 again, or do you want to just have a shortened life? Hi, Sheila. It's so good to see you. How are you today? Did you have a good Halloween? Yeah, right, Kay? So, like, even in jail, like, I've known people who have gone to jail and they've, like, found meaningful things to do. Yay! I'm so glad you're good. It's so cool. It's like I was so worried. I was like sweating at the beginning. I was like going, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see the comments. I don't know how this is going to work. It's like me and technology, y'all. I usually have to rely. I've got 2 biological boys, and then I have exactly 100 youth on my roster this year. So I'm always going to them, right? I'm always texting them and bribing them to come over and say, can you set this up? I hired one student to put all my, yeah, technology's hard. And it's changing all the time. So once you master it, they just change it on you. But I paid one of my students to put all my CDs onto MP3s and put them on an iPod. Because I was just like, not my gifting, y'all. Not my gifting. So, yeah. This one's an interesting question. I want to know. So, would you rather have the power that every single object you touch, you would know the complete history of it? Or, that's so great. I love my son's in school to be a computer coder. So, we have technology gurus. All right, so secret ability to touch every object and like know the history. Like you would get to like witness like where the rocks had been, or where any object, where it came from. You know, you could probably find things that were lost, or you could actually understand animals. Like you would actually know what they're thinking. Now, keep in mind, I'm not sure that a lot of them are having very complex thoughts. So, because at first I was like, animals? I mean, duh. Who doesn't want to talk to animals and have the ability to communicate? I mean, it would be so much easier, particularly with my dog, right? I don't know what she's thinking. And she's like so nervous. It's like, what if you could only understand them, but they couldn't understand you? It'd be a really good, it would be almost better if the ability was that your animal could actually understand you. Because I'm trying to tell her, I just fed you. You've forgotten that you just ate. She doesn't understand. It's fun though. Animals bring a lot. But I have gotten yeah, old buildings, part of what I love, mystery. Yeah. Like I was gonna say, as I've gotten older, it's like you just appreciate the history more, right? You just want to know the stories of the people and the places, and you want them to understand you, because the dog has selective understanding. Yes, yes, they do. Bless their little hearts, but they love unconditionally, y'all. They really do, and I think they would like not even hesitate. Like if there was, danger, or a speeding bullet or whatever coming for us, they would just take it. They wouldn't even hesitate. Our dogs in particular are just so like that. Ooh. Michelle, as a child, you could feel the energy on items and it was creepy. Ooh, that is creepy. It's creepy cool though. I think that's really creepy cool. I would think that would be really cool. That would make a really good book. There's got to be a book that's already out there that has that premise that like has I'm like totally jazzed on the book that I was reading, the Mistborn trilogy, as they're trying to figure out. Yeah, it would be cool, Sheila. They're trying to figure out, this unknown evil presence that's destroyed their world for longer than anybody can remember. And so they could use that ability. They could like figure out what actually the history was because it's been so long, the forgotten history. And oh gosh, have you read the third one? Okay, because I have it, but I was saving it for my birthday. I was going to start to read it on my birthday. That's my plan. Uh, really? There's like negative. I wonder if there's a way to get rid of negative energy on items. Michelle said that she could sense like used stores would have negative energy on items. Hmm. Oh, that's so awesome. I'm super excited to read that book. I just love the premise of that whole world and I love stories that have that history lost. That's why I'm coming back to it from the question that I asked y'all. I love stories that have like there was something sacred, right? And then it was forgotten and it had to be re-remembered and rediscovered and retaught, that Fellowship of the Rings. It's my all-time favorite. All-time hands down favorite is Lord of the Rings. Just love it. He is a little too wordy in some points, but I appreciate that in the sense that we have all this lore around all the basically fantasy world, I think, in large part because of Tolkien's writing. Um, yeah, the idea of using different elements. Yeah, yeah. So that concept. So like in Fellowship, it was the ring, right? The rings held the power, and then in the Mistborn series, it's the metals themselves that have to be pure, and then they hold the energy and the power. So it would be cool if in reality we had items or things that we could grasp onto and know history and powers and all that kind of stuff. But to be honest, the animals is probably the better answer, y'all, because living creatures definitely have more, I won't say value necessarily, but more value. Yes. um if would you rather be able to talk to the land animals, the animals that fly, or the animals that swim, if you only had one ability to talk to the animals? The animals that fly, the animals on land, or the animals that live underwater? I don't spend a lot of time underwater, y'all. I'm not really a water kind of girl. I like sitting at the beach and looking at water or sitting by the lake and reading a book, but I'm not much of a swimmer. And I don't normally play in the water. I don't know. So definitely not water. The flying is cool because they'd have a good perspective, but definitely I think I have to go, yeah, Sheila, I think I'm with you on land. Because again, that's the dog. The flying animals because they'd have good gossip. Yes. Yes, they would. That's what I was saying. It was definitely not water, but yeah, the deer and the rabbits would have a lot. Yeah, your cat loves you, Michelle. There's no question about that. Both of them. They're like, just like the way they head bump and they're trying to like mark you and claim you and all that. They totally, totally just no question. I question my I had the two cats, Casey, the one who passed, she was my cat. She was the one that, would come to me more than anybody else, and she was skittish. You know how calicos have those kind of dual personalities, and mine was the skittish high maintenance cat, which is sometimes a little bit like me. People resembling their animals. But she and like, during the hard parts of my life, particularly my second marriage, which was very intense, when I would be really upset, she was the one who would sense that and would come and sit with me and comfort me and let me love on her and whatnot. So yeah, our spirit animals, but They know us. They love us. They let us know in their own ways, right? Yes. Ooh, this is my favorite one. This is my favorite one. You ready for the favorite one? Would you rather have every light that you come up to driving be green for the rest of your life, or would you rather not have to stand in line, like physically walking ever again? So like you go to the store, there's no checkout line. You go to the DMV, there's no line. Or the green light at every light when you're driving. That is such a good, I don't know. That one's so good. Yeah, yeah. So standing in line is just horrible hard. It's just, yeah. I think I think that's a good choice. Although the green lights are so fulfilling when you're driving, and it's like green light, green light. Yeah, the lines are particularly long. You know what? I fear they might get longer. Yeah, if you're at the I don't know though, because now that I'm thinking about it, see, standing in line, I'm always talking to people. Anybody else with those obnoxious people? I'm like talking to people all the time when I'm standing in line. It's like particularly, if they're not the one checking out, because obviously the one checking out is busy, you know, with the cashier and all that. But if you got two people or you're at the DMV, I don't care that it's quiet and everybody's sitting there. I'd like start talking to my neighbor. It's like it's at least to like say I like, something about their other what's going on. I don't have to smell other people in the car. Are you saying people in line are smelly, Michelle? I guess that's true sometimes. Although there's a lot of cultural smells, y'all. And I know this is kind of gross, but I kind of like cultural, even bad smells. Like when you go into like a foreign market that has really exotic spices, but usually it's like hot and sweaty and there's even body odor kind of things. And I don't know, it just conjures up travel and cultures that are different and unique. And that's another thing, like I don't have the question on there about which sense you would get rid of, but I don't think it'd be smell. I mean, smell is so powerful. Like you smell something and then you remember, and have you done those lists, like there's like 10 things and you can only smell two of them ever again and you have to pick? I do a lot of these games, y'all. My life is filled with a lot of these random games. And so I have to like pick which smells to hold on to. And I really don't like that exercise because I just don't want to lose any smells. I'm kind of like my dog in that sense. It's like smell and leave smell. That's what she's about in life, right? It's like, I think that's the purpose of life. That's why she gets so excited to go for her. Is she around? To go for her walk. I didn't want to say the word if she was around. But I think that's why she gets so excited to walk, because she wants to go out and smell and leave smell. It's all about the smells, y'all. So that's what I would do. Yes. Would you rather spend the rest of your life on a sailboat or on an RV? If y'all know me. And from what I've already even said about the water, you know what my answer is on this one. RV, if you have to give up your house and either live in an RV or live on a boat, what do you pick? RV, Michelle. I pick the RV too, obviously. I like to visit the water, but can you imagine? I don't think, a little afraid of the water. Yeah. My mom didn't learn how to swim until she was in her 20s. So she was like literally scared of the water. And then her boyfriend in college taught her how to swim so that she wouldn't be afraid. So that was probably, she said that was the best thing that boyfriend gave her. It's like, it would be hard to not know how to swim, but my mom made me take swim lessons because of that. So I appreciate that I was forced to do that, even though I didn't want to do it at the time. And then I did try to do the community swim team when I was like 10, and I got most improved because I was so bad at it. Yeah, the motion sickness. I get seasick a lot. Hey, but though I went on a cruise and I took those wristbands that have the little pressure point, and they seemed to work really well. And then we went through a hurricane, like literally. It was Hurricane Edward in 96, And I was a travel agent, so it was a super, super good deal because not only was I a travel agent, but it was hurricane season. So, I mean, I paid next to nothing to go on this cruise from New York City to Bermuda. And, hello. And the cruise ship was going to go directly east to go south to Bermuda to try to avoid the storm. And the storm turned and went across Cape Cod, and we went through the hurricane in the cruise ship. It was over 100-mile-an-hour winds and 65-foot waves. No, you were a travel agent? I worked for AAA Travel. I like actually made up the triptychs and booked the hotels. I did the domestic side. Who is this person? I don't think I know you. I would like make up the travel and do all of the hotel bookings and triptychs and all that. So I did that for 4.5 years, and I was actually scheduled to be a manager for AAA. I was in like their intern program, and then I got called into youth ministry. International. That's awesome. Did you do the Sabre? I could like rent it, but I mostly didn't do the air. I wonder if I can go over to my computer. I'm trying to do this on my computer and my phone. I told you I'm not very good. I don't know how to do it. Well, we'll just end if it gets bad. Because this is a test run and I appreciate y'all. Anyway, I really do. This has already been fun and exciting because it's like, people, my people. Yeah, it'll be okay. I got a couple more good questions though. We did the RV. That's good. Friends is good. Amon, as long as you're friendly, new people are okay. It says, would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into the future or 10 minutes into the future of somebody else? So if you have the ability to see the future, just short term, would you rather it be your own or somebody else's? It's a good question. Because you could use those for really good purposes either way. I think I'd rather see somebody else's too, Amon. I would. I think it would be disconcerting if I saw myself. But see, I've been reading that Mistborn, right? And Mistborns, one of their powers is to be able to see into the future, and it helps them fight, right? Because they know what their opponent's going to attack or whatever, so they can block it or, you know, beat them or save their life because they weren't going to see a move against them. So, but I'm not a fighter, y'all. I love all these superhero movies and stuff, but if it came down to it, I think I'd be too chicken. I think I'd be like hiding in the basement going, yeah, I don't think we're going to go save the world today. Let me see. Would you rather be the first person to explore a brand new planet or be an inventor of a drug that would cure a disease? Oh, you could make money. Well, there's a lot of movies where like people could see the future and then they like use it to their advantage to try to like, you know, change the world or reality for themselves. Yeah, cure the disease. I mean, there's always going to be new diseases, but we definitely we definitely need to have some cure. It's kind of funny because these questions, of course, are written down long before COVID in 2020, but we really need to cure this disease, y'all. Although a new planet would be scary too, because you don't know what's out there. I mean, it could have one of those, in Star Wars where you have those big worms that came out of the meteor holes and ate the spaceship. What if you had one of those planets? Did y'all, when it Interstellar, the movie where they were looking for a new planet to inhabit because Earth was going to be destroyed and we needed a new planet, so they were looking for a water-based planet, and then depending on how far away the planets were or their rotation was how time itself would change, which is why I really geeked out and loved the movie. And there was the one planet that they went to that was all water-based and there was no land, and the spaceship had been, the spaceship had been like killed like 20, they had been there 27 years ago, but then when they went to go look after them, it was only 15 minutes too late. That was such a good movie. Yeah. Yeah, you would know the future. That'd be tempting to like know the future and not abuse it, if you will. Although some things are nice to be a mystery to try to figure out. Okay, just a few more minutes. Then Sundays are my big work day. I looked on my little graphics though, and Sunday afternoons had like the largest number of my viewers that came online according to my analytics. So I said, okay, I'll pick Sunday afternoon to try this. But, there's class, and then there's church, and then at 2 o'clock, I have an in-person class, y'all. We're going to be spread out with mass, but we get to be in the building with a limited number of people in the room. And this is our first one that we're allowed to do that because we weren't allowed to meet in the building until November. So today's November 1st. I'm always pushing the rules, y'all. It's like, oh, we're allowed to meet November? Okay, November 1st. we will definitely walk away from what, Sheila? So, and then tonight I've got online youth group for families that aren't comfortable meeting in person. So I can't stay too long, but I'm super excited just to hang out with you. On the stock market or whatever. Yeah. Yes. Would you rather be able to control animals with your mind or control electronics with your mind? Ooh. Is it nice weather where you're at to go walking? I think it's actually pretty good here. It's in the 30s in the morning, but it's actually up to the 50s in the afternoon. Electronics. Me and technology. That would be really cool. If you didn't even have to like tab over and look for everything, you could just control it with your mind. You could just like that would be pretty cool. Because animals are their own people. You don't want to yeah, definitely electronics, because you don't want to control animals. Although some of those superheroes that have the like animal sidekicks are kind of cool. Yeah. I think it might have gotten up to 50 here too. So, would you rather have unlimited international travel or never have to pay for food at the restaurants? Yeah. The animals would be nice if they minded us. But it's kind of like playing God in that sense. I know. Free food out. I think I'd get tired of it because sometimes when I'm on vacation and I do have nothing but eating out, I like get tired of eating out or other people's food. But if it's free food eating out, it's Iowa. I had one of my good friends from college who lived in Iowa, but she lives in Wisconsin now, which I've never been to Wisconsin, so I should go visit her. International would be really cool because that's expensive. I mean, if you're going to travel internationally, you'd probably, I would probably get more bang for the buck with the international travel. And there's a whole lot of places on my bucket list. Right now, we're not traveling though. So I think the food is kind of more tempting right now during 2020, but I think overall, I might go for the international travel. Hey, being a travel agent or just any of y'all who would rather this, if you were a travel agent like stewardess, or what do they call them, flight attendant now, you know, where would you like to go? Where would you like to go? Oh, I can't scroll back and see the comments. I have to go back and read all the comments. I think I'm missing a couple of the comments. Sorry if I'm missing your comment. They like pop up and then blink off when I'm like thinking about something else. Yeah, Ireland's in my top 2. Ireland's in my top 2. And then my other one, of course, is New Zealand and going to see the Lord of the Rings and all of that. Yes. Those are definitely, yeah. I actually went and applied to work as a flight attendant, my first job, and then I ended up being a travel agent because I actually wanted more stability. We should. That would be so fun. I have, like, when I'm dreaming, I'll actually, and because I was a travel agent for a while, Russia would be cool. I like will actually plan and work on the itinerary. So, you know, in and out of Dublin, and then, you know, having Waterford and kissing the Blarney Stone and the Ring of Kerry and Cork and, you know, Cliffs of Moher and all. I just plan it out. I even start looking for the particular hotels and restaurants sometimes. Ooh, you've been to Russia. That would be awesome. I've been to India, but that's my only Asia claim. I need to go back. I need to go back. It probably depends also on the time and the political climate and all that stuff as far as international travel, because I know growing up I always wanted to go to like Egypt and Greece, but now that I'm older, I'm like, I don't know if I would feel totally safe in all of these places. Oh, where are you in India? In which, not that I'm going to know which city, but oh, we'll have to tell me all the details of going to Russia sometime. I was in Hyderabad. Oh, New Delhi's good too. Sheila, I was in Hyderabad. We went through Chennai to Hyderabad, and then we were actually about 2 hours northeast of Hyderabad. Yeah. Yes, Mumbai. I mean, I know of these places on maps. I know the road systems between a lot of the major cities in India are really poor because we looked at traveling and it just takes forever. It's not like our interstates. And yeah, so it's harder to get around. It's a very big country. Very big country. Yeah. That's cool. Were you there for business? Because Hyderabad's one of the big businesses. Australia, I love London. I studied theater for a month in London. Yeah, it is crowded. India is very crowded, very populous. I think probably equivalent to China. Aren't India and China the most populated countries in the world as far as numbers of people? And even, I mean, they're both huge land masses, but yeah, I love India too. I do. We were supposed to go back. We were going back to Hyderabad this year, 2020. Yeah, we were supposed to go June 24th to July 6th. I was supposed to be in Hyderabad this year. but I got my money back on the plane tickets, and I still have the money with the organization that we're going with. So I'm going. I am going back. Hmm. Yeah. China's crazy, y'all. I shouldn't say that. Yeah. I was so, oh my gosh. Yeah, we cried. We cried. Or at least I cried. They were sad and disappointed, but I mean, it's such a letdown. The interesting thing is if you remember, it wasn't quite as big a deal in the States, but back in 2014, Ebola hit, right? And we were supposed to go to Sierra Leone that year. And so we had our plane tickets, we had our training, we had been fundraising for, almost 2 years because we do international planning for 2 years. And 2 weeks before we were to go, we were doing our final meeting, like our packing meeting. And the first case of Ebola came to Bo, which is where we were going to fly into. And well, we're flying into Freetown, but Bo, where we were going. And so we had to cancel the trip. And we postponed a year. You volunteered in a small school sponsored by a company at work. Yeah, that's so awesome. I love that. We always work with the children too. That's of course the big draw, right? Is to work with the children. It's interesting because English gets them places like economically, or like learning English and perfecting English and working with English towards business was one of the key things you could do to help people have a better chance to get out of poverty. Yeah, I was just doing a culture exchange with my youth through the church and job that I have. So we go over, and we were actually doing a plumbing system in an orphanage in India when we were there the last time, and that was a fascinating experience too, because when we first got there, we were sponsored by the local Christian church. So the local Muslim, particularly the teenagers and the young people, would cause trouble. And so we would have to kind of be protected or whatever. But then when we started working on the plumbing, and we were actually digging trenches and laying piping and doing different stalls for sinks and toilets or whatever, the community shut down any of the harassment, right? Because they wanted to learn. And what was fascinating is they were taking all these notes and learning a lot of the sewer and plumbing and things that we had to offer the training to them. But it's not like we were there being the saviors teaching everything. They had these tools like to dig that I had never seen before. None of us had ever seen. And so they like had this one where they had they would strap a piece of wood, and then had like a metal, like really sharp trowel thing, and they would do this number and the dirt would just fly. And it's just like we were sitting there with the traditional shovels, right? No, they would like whole trench cleared. So we would like have this beautiful cultural exchange. So it was fascinating and beautiful and lovely, and I just have a heart for India and just love it. And yeah, it's very diverse, just in beliefs and people and just the population, right? You get a large population, you're going to have a lot of different stuff going on. So it's the way it is. It's the way of traveling. So anybody who gets to travel is blessed. And I heard a statistic once, I'm not sure if it's still true, but it's like if you have traveled more than 50 miles from your home base for a reason other than making your money, like your career, then you're in the top 5% of the world population. And at first, I was in disbelief, like, no, that can't be true. There's all the business travelers and everybody's out all the time, and, nobody stays within 50 miles. And in the States, there's people who do that, but it is more rare not to travel, right? But if you look at the whole global population, maybe it's true. No, it's not true. You think the world gets to travel? I think either way, I think travel is a huge, huge blessing. Hello? Somebody need me?
Do you know where the popcorn kernels are?
I don't, beyond just in the pantry.
Okay, I'll find them. Thank
Yeah, dig around. I think we've got some.
you. Okay, thank
Thanks, Autumn. My daughter looking for the popcorn kernels. I know, I'm pretty sure we have some. Don't know where. But anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. I'm not gonna let it go on too long. But if you're watching this later for some reason, leave all your answers in the comments because I still want to get to know people and you know, let me know what you did for Halloween over the weekend, what's going on, and all the would you rather's. And we'll do this again. I don't know how often I'll do it. Maybe monthly. Thinking maybe monthly would be a good check-in with people, see what's going on. And I don't know if Sunday afternoons are a good time, but it's pretty chill, right? Sunday afternoons are known for being pretty laid back. Yeah, it was super. I really appreciate you being here and helping me take a deep breath and just be calm with it. So I appreciate y'all, and it'll take me a second to sit here and figure out how to stop it even and upload it and all that kind of stuff. But y'all have an awesome day. I appreciate it. It's so good to see you and meet you in person. Y'all take care. Have an awesome day. I'm gonna, yes, end.